Hi, this is the Donna Thorne special, and today this is Happy Mother's Day show. So pretty soon we're going to have Mother's Day, and I just wanted to say to all the mothers, Happy Mother's Day. So we're honored today to have Donna Thorne herself of the Donna Thorne special. So we're really honored to have you on a show. See, I told you we'd have her on very soon. Thank you.
Thank you. It's good to be here.
Good. And so we know this is Donna Thorne. We'll introduce our panel, and we have here Michael
Barros.
Okay, who are you?
Michael Barros.
Oh, that's my son, by the way. So, and here we have Margarita Savoie.
Hello.
And here we have, who are you?
Brittany.
Brittany, that's my daughter. Yeah. You may see a little resemblance, I guess. So today we're going to be talking about some foundational issues as far as mothers today and how we impact the world. So I'll start off with you, Donna Thorne. And can you please tell me, what do you think, especially today, it's such a big thing with generational changes as far as generation. I mean, here we have today 3 generations. We have 1, 2, and 3. So what do you think as far as generational changes and how that has impacted our world and how we need to see generational changes to actually get along with our kids? Say, I've been there, yet it was tougher. It's tougher today. Peer pressure is a lot more rough and radical.
Well, yeah, it is because of all the new technology. When I was a kid, there was no computers. And television was a lot different. We had Leave It to Beaver and Donna Reed Show.
Okay.
There were no problem with morals and values being on television because that's what television was about. It was about giving children morals and values, and it was about giving morals and values to everyone. In fact, we had prayer in schools.
Right.
Oh, when we went to school, we prayed.
But how do you think, as far as, how did your mother feel knowing that when you went to school there was prayer and knowing that you were covered at home with prayer and when you went out there to school? I mean, that's such a great impact.
Well, it's like, it was the feeling that we were all in this together. Everybody was family. At school, you felt like, oh, it was for one thing, and that was about God. And it was understood with everybody.
What about you, Margarita? What do you think as far as today, the pressures that, as far as our adult children, you have children, I know, and they're, how do you feel, how are they coping, how should they cope, and as far as the generational change, as far as when you were younger till now, so how do you understand them? I mean, we really need to understand our parents, and I feel that it would be very respectfully said if parents could understand adult children to make the transition of a good relationship with mother and father, mother and daughter.
Certainly, Donna hit right on the nail. When we were growing up, we had a lot more respect and fear, at least where I grew up, of my parents, and they were not things that freely I could discuss with them. Also, the fact that we were going in schools, the prayer was there, and we were going as classes, we were going to church on Sundays. We had to go, you know, it was mandatory. However, with I like some things that my parents did in raising me, but I also like the way now I deal with my adult children. I try to learn the good things that I've learned from my parents, and things that they were not as beneficial in my mind, or productive, or profitable, I try to change for my children. With my children, the communication is totally open. There is nothing either my daughter or my son can tell me that will be afraid to, because I believe you can prevent a lot of catastrophes, actually, if you allow it to go too far, things in their life. Now, the children, unfortunately, my children grew up without me. I was a working mother during their whole upbringing, and I feel a little bit that took away from, as Donna said, you know, because they were watching television, the peer pressure became more obvious in the later years of their life. I'm trying to rectify that now as they're adults. Also, by being out at work, it made them less self-sufficient. The children now stay at home a lot longer than they used to. You know, children now, they are in the late 20s and even early 30s, and they still depend on mom or dad or singly. You know, they stay home because they cannot make it on their own. And I don't know if it is because the upbringing, you know, for myself, being away from home, I try to make up for that with giving. And not make them self-sufficient.
Well, we're definitely going to have to come back and talk about that, because that's very important. Is there any fear attached to leaving the home because now of the peer pressure? So we're going to come, please stay tuned. We'll come right back. We're going to talk more about this.
We have beautiful trees in our town.
Along Main Street.
Around our town square.
In our neighborhoods.
In our town, we care for trees.
We prune our trees.
Plan for them, plant them, and cherish them.
Our town really benefits from trees.
We save on energy.
And have more birds than ever.
We're proud that our town is a Tree City, USA.
For future generations.
For the future of the earth. We started at the Arbor Day Foundation website.
And contacted our state forester.
At arborday.org, we learned what trees to plant where.
Like conservation buffers, trees planted along the river to keep our water clean.
Hey, make your town a Tree City, USA.
Trees for America, from sea to shining.
Our town, Tree City, USA.
Hi, we're back with the Donna Thorne special. We're having a happy Mother's Day. And so we've been talking about children leaving the home later now at this generation, instead of the later generation, children left at an earlier age to go on to college or going to work or going to get married. People are waiting longer to get married or have children or starting their families or starting their careers. And so I was asking, is fear attached to it? Is it fear within our society? Is it fear of, like you were talking about, as far as maybe parents being, you know, not being able to be there for the children as much as if they were a stay-at-home mom, stay-at-home father? Do you think that has a big thing? They're not ready?
I will have to speak personally, you know. Yeah. I think for my children, probably this is the truth, because they have been exposed to a lot of things that the parents can provide, and they are in a situation now that they think they will fail if they go out on their own, because they cannot, their examples have been their parents that they already have been working for a long time. They don't realize that, and I try to share it with them that many of us, we start with very little. We don't start and driving a Lexus.
Right.
You know, you start with a Pinto.
That's right.
That was my first car. You know, so, but the children, unfortunately, now the parents they provide them with a Lexus now.
Right.
So, what they're looking forward.
Right.
What they have to look for.
Because it's true enough. The parents, somebody had to pay the price for the children today to live a little bit more comfortable. Every generation has to get better. My kids have to do better than I did.
Right.
And then it goes on and on. Yet, we still don't have to have them to start off with the Alexis. We could still bring that humbleness in effect. Do you have a scripture, either one of you, that God is leading you to bring up that would impact us about this?
Well, one of the scriptures that really has been speaking to me later in my life, I wish I had it earlier in my life, but it is in Proverbs 10:1, which says, "A wise son brings joy to his father, but a foolish son grief to his mother." And boy, have I experienced that. And it's very interesting because God gives the joy to the father for the wise son, but yet it is up to the mother, because the mother traditionally was the one who stayed home to bring up the children. A son or a daughter who have been grown to be doing foolish things, they do bring grief to the mother.
And what do you think about that, Michael? What do you think about that? What do you think in your generation, as far as what goes on with the children today, what do you think that you'd like to see more in moms today that would help out you kids?
I don't know.
Yeah, you don't know. Maybe what, more going to the park in our busy schedules of being mothers, and maybe children not being able to get out more of the house because it's like, okay, let's go home, go to work. We're going to come back definitely and talk about this, because I think that's such a big issue. We're just running here, running there. We got to go here, hurry up and get up in the morning, hurry up and take your bath, eat dinner. Then when do they have time to go to the park and have a good time and run and yell and get all that energy out instead of take it to the schools? So we're definitely, please stay tuned, because this will impact your life also.
Probably missed the first song. Why can't you ever find a parking space when you're in a hurry?
Oh, look, that couple's leaving.
Come on, come on. Just what we need now. A gentleman. Look, the concert's half over, and we're sitting here waiting for Sir Galahad. Finally. Okay. Care to join me, milady?
Marriage.
Sorry about that.
You're never too far apart when you're still holding hands. From your neighbors, the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints.
Hi, we're back. Thanks for staying tuned. And Donna Thorne, unfortunately, of course, she's the producer of the show. She had many things to do to make this show great, like she always does. So hopefully, definitely, we'll get her back on another show. So to continue on with our Mother's Day, and hopefully these issues impact your life. And if you have any questions, please call the number at the end of the credits and call in, and feel free that if you ever want to get on a show, or if you have comments about the show or anything, please call. Feel free or write. I wanted to ask you, Michael, what we were talking about before we went to the break, about as far as children getting out the house more, and as far as parents working so much, hard-working mothers. How's that impacted your life as far as, would you like to get out more? Do you feel your friends say you like sports, baseball? Yeah, you like baseball? Yeah, you're gonna get it. Look at that nice smile. Yeah, nice smile. Okay, well, feel free whenever you want to tell me. Brittany, what about you? What do you like to do? Do you know, they have in the schools now that, which I really like a lot, Margarita, as far as they're having like cheerleading or karate, different things they submit to the parents. So it's almost like we don't have to always go out, you know, to outside things. They're letting us know as parents, here's information as far as what to get your children involved with. Because we can be so busy, not that we'd want to forget, but just making the time and taking the time out, because the world's going to be there. All the material things will be there as far as the cars, the homes. But with kids, I think what more today is love, attention. I think attention is the biggest thing. And I wanted to bring this up because this is so important. This is an article that I was reading today in the newspaper, and it talks about children that are cutting school, as far as, you know, during that time are the most times where kids get involved in gangs and just get into activity that may seem fun, but have a trickle effect. There's a cause and effect. It'll lead to dangerous things. Believe me, we were all young, as we know as parents, and we know whether it was less severe to more severe because of the times today, it still was pretty bad. You know, things that we could have said, well, I wish I wouldn't have done that, or I understand now, especially after you have kids. I understand now what my mom was talking about. She was right. You know? And so, but as far as maybe if we as parents took our kids out more to have fun, to get out, whether it be the beach, or just say, I'm going to commit one day out of the week or one day out of 2 weeks to just dedicate that time to my kids, no matter what, because that job will be there. What are we working for? We're working for our kids. We might as well enjoy them and let them enjoy us, because the bills will be paid, knowing that God will provide no matter what. If we provide for the young children, because God says, come, let your heart come to me as a child. And so if we let our children come to us and learn from them, He'll provide that money, that extra money we need for the light bill or for whatever it is. So if we just trust in Him, because, you know, this talks about how if the kids today will have like 8 chances to be truant, and they're bringing this to the San Fernando Valley as well as Los Angeles, that the parents will be put in jail. You know, I mean, you know, so remember that saying, it takes a whole village to raise a child. And we all, when I see kids out, especially from my children's school, I'm like, hey, how's your mom? Or, you know, you guys be careful out there. I mean, I see 7- and 8-year-olds out there by themselves without their parents. And maybe the parent has to work and it's not their fault. We don't want to bring judgment to any of us. But the whole thing is that we have to make time. Maybe I could take, you know, a neighborhood committee. Let me take all the children out once a week. If you can't do it, maybe I can. Me and a girlfriend, we've done that to help each other out. So what do you feel led that, what is God saying about that? How do you feel?
I agree with you that it takes both cooperation of the school with the parents, you know, to really, because they do spend a lot of time away from home and away from the parents. Even if the mother was a stay-home mom, still they spend a lot of waking hours at school. So it has to be a very close relationship with the teachers and the school. And as you mentioned, Norma, there are a lot of opportunities for the parents to be involved in the children's life, even at school. I know, for example, Brittany, you know, with her cheerleading activity, you have been involved with that, and I'm sure she likes that, don't you?
Yeah.
Right. She does. you know. So, and I myself also, when my children were in school, I tried to be in all their games.
Oh, wow, really?
I will take time off from work and sometimes drive 3-4 hours for a football game or a softball or a volleyball game. And the children remember. They will remember that. But I wanted also to mention something else, you know, which I have started doing a few years back, and even more now with my own children and my husband, praying the armor of God on our children, the protection.
Yes,
you know, which is in Ephesians 6:13. You know, to pray the armor of God, so because we do fight against the principalities of the enemy. You know, it's not just flesh and blood.
Unseen forces.
Exactly.
Children. I mean, you know, it's like an unseen force that the children today they might not even can express. It's almost like that pressure of to do wrong, or that pressure of to want to be accepted in society and with their friends, or what's on TV, or what's cool, or what's not. But we're going to talk more about that when we come back. So please stay tuned. Thank you so much.
I'm amazed at how important basketball games used to be to me. Who's going with who used to be such a big deal. Last year, homecoming was so important to me. But those things aren't very important anymore because I'm pregnant and I'm single. What's important to me now is talking to people who know exactly how I feel. And I finally made a decision about what to do for my baby, and I feel good about it.
Where there's help, there's hope. LDS Family Services. We're here to listen. We're here to help.
Hi, we're back. And Michael was just asking me a good question. He said, what does truant mean? Is that's what you were asking me, huh? What's truant mean? That means that when kids leave the school campus without getting permission, basically, leaving while you're supposed to be in class, they're like outside of the gate, going to their friend's house or going and doing something they're not supposed to be doing, basically. Yeah, does that answer it? Yeah? Okay. So what we were saying was basically about how important it is to work together. And today it may be challenging because everyone is so transient. You don't even know most of the time who your neighbor is. Not that you have to be their best friend. There are a lot of people who are just loners. They like to keep to themselves, and that's understandable, especially everything you hear on the news. Yet, if we have a community, a church, get involved, sometimes you can still befriend your neighbor and not have that fear, letting God lead you, speaking to your heart, giving us wisdom of, should I go talk to this person when, and inviting them to church. And
absolutely.
Yeah. Do you have a really good scripture to kind of sum up our foundational life? Anything in Proverbs?
Well, actually, for the women, is Proverbs 31. That is, and it has become to be known. Everyone is looking for a Proverbs 31 woman.
Yes.
And would you like me
Please.
to read it?
Definitely, because even though we can feel as mothers, well as children, but we as mothers can feel like the pressure of, you know, my superwoman cape here, like, okay, work, even you want to go back to school so you can further your education, oh, I got to do this, I got to do that. But, you know, it takes time. If we be patient with ourselves, because God, He's always patient, then it can happen. The process, it's always a process of disciplining yourself. I'm not going to watch TV. I'm going to pray. I'm going to read my Bible to make ourselves do it.
And we know that the Lord has, in the 10 Commandments, in Deuteronomy 5:16, He talked about how we are to honor our mother and father.
Yes.
And there is a promise with that, because our life will be longer, you know, and will be prosperous. But even Jesus, He spoke several times through the Gospels. It's recorded in Matthew and Mark. And Paul, he talked about in Ephesians about how important it is to honor our mother and father.
Yes.
In Proverbs 31, verse 10, until the end of it, 31, it talks about a wife and a mother who is of noble character. A wife of noble character, who can find? She's worth far more than rubies. Her husband has full confidence in her and lacks nothing of value. She brings him good, not harm, all the days of her life. She selects wool and flax and works with eager hands. Actually, when I was reading, if I may stop here a little bit, is this woman, she's a superwoman. She's a financial advisor.
Amen. Well, we're going to wrap it up a little bit here. But she's everything. It's so much to say as far as being a mom and giving us that foundation. We're going to definitely have to do this show again, or have another show, or bring this up. And maybe we'll just have the kind of 12 steps to God lead us to get this together, and we're going to do another show. Please come back.
Okay.
Please come back. Thank you so much for tuning in. Bye. Please tune back in to another Donna Thorne special. Thank you. Enjoy your blessings.
Yeah.